to the cloud. There we go. Hey, good morning, everyone. What a fun time down in South Carolina. Paul, I know you had to miss, but I want to thank everyone that's on this call and everyone that came down. I hope it met your expectations. It certainly exceeded mine. So thank you. Oh, Larry, you're muted. I think.
I am?
No, you're not.
No, you're
Oh, I'm just lip
not.
syncing.
There you are.
I was lip syncing.
Oh, you said something.
Maybe George muted you.
That's right. Just the God switch. So, hey, last week we were kicking around. We only had about 20 minutes. We kicked around. We just talked about the conference a little bit. And today I just thought we'd do open mic. And I know you guys had suggested a couple of topics. What say you?
Well,
you put something in. Yeah, go ahead, because you put something in circle.
Yeah, and then we don't have to do that. I'll start with the conference. It was a great conference. I just watched last week's discussion, and I concur with what Scott and Steve were saying. It's and the whole thing that the group really came together well. A lot of great conversation, a lot of sharing. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. And
speak of the devil.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Great,
Speaking
thanks.
of the devil, we're talking about you, Scott. Nice picture, by the way.
He can unmute. Yes, he can. All right, cool. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Scott.
Morning, George. I'm getting my face here.
We have, I don't know if you can see the gang of reprobates, the usual. Barry Goodman. Wow, we have a crowd today. Outstanding.
I desperately needed coffee.
So did I. Back to the point where I realized, yeah.
Cheers.
There's a gas station that makes this quite robust. Anyway. Hey, Barry, I'm sorry. I owed you a call yesterday, and the day completely got away from me. We can check in maybe a little later this morning. Is Barry able to? He can unmute, right? Yes, he can. Right. Okay, Barry, you're on mute, but you are able to talk if you decide. So Bob had just watched the recording from last week, which is in the video section of Circle, and I will post it on YouTube. And by the way, guys, as we're having these conversations, if we want to get into, we had a conversation 2 weeks ago that we decided as a group. I think we were tepid on whether or not to post it. We got into some really meaty topics, some very personal topics, so I opted to not post it. But if we start going down a path that you'd rather just keep within the conversation, within the community, just say the word. Let's have the conversation. We don't have to let the world know about it. So it's open mic Tuesday, and Larry and I just finished a huge project together. Well, we didn't finish. We just completed a phase of a big project together yesterday. So I'm feeling a little lighter, feeling a little weight off my shoulders, Larry. I'm not going to lie to you. I know we have a lot to think about and plan on.
We'll get there.
Going forward.
Did you get approval on it, George? Larry?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Well, we have approval. Now we need what the technical term is butts in seats.
Yeah.
And we're in the getting butts in seats phase. So we have the right audience.
It's a process, Scott, and we just began the process of interacting with this organization, and we don't think the way we went about it yesterday might be the best way to get fannies in the seats. So yes. we're going to adjust and get there, and so.
Larry, is that a matter of generating interest in people that want to attend and be part of it?
I think it's never about, it seems to never be about interest. It seems about convert interest into action, that people are willing to make a commitment to something new and different that they know they need intellectually, but are they willing to really make that commitment now?
And from an audience, in a macro sense, not these specific folks who are great. These are managing partners of successful firms. But in a macro sense, an audience that keeps kicking the can down the road, essentially always saying, we want to do this, we just don't, we're not sure we're going to do it right now. And the question is, okay, well, that's what you've been saying by your own admission for years. So if it's not now, this is, as we see with clients, it's the rolling 5 years. 5 years, 5 years, 5 years. Well, you've been saying 5 years for 6 years. So,
yeah, the perma 5.
The perma 5, exactly.
Hey, Larry, reminds me of that old adage, five frogs are on a log, 3 decided to jump, how many are left? The answer is 5, yeah, because they only decided, they didn't actually have.
Oh, see, I fell for that, Scott. I forgot about that, and I fell for it. That I got to remember. That's a good point. Yes. Well, we're working on them to jump.
And to bring those of you who aren't up to speed, this is a program for firms to deploy in an inter-firm as an inter-firm cohort. So you'd have several. These would happen to be CPA firms who would be able to participate as a cohort with several people from different firms, and we would put them through the Growth Drive launch course. We'll have them complete some CoreValue onboarding and then move them into the Growth Drive world. The Growth Drive launch course compressed into a day, the Growth Drive certified specialist workshop, which many of you just completed, and then we coach them and mentor them as they deploy these services, with peer groups being a key component. We take the cohort and put them. It's the only thing I say is a must do. This is non-negotiable. They will participate as a group in the training and then be in a peer group together. It's a kick, and I'm not giving all the details, but it is an end-to-end kick butt program that I believe strongly, if it's the best we can design. Larry and Marie Benedetto and I put our heads together, and it's all the information that you guys give us, right? So we took everything we've learned from you and created this program. We'll see. As one of Larry's first comments yesterday when we did our debrief was, this will work. This is good. We've designed something that'll work. Now we got to take it to market. And yesterday was our first pitch.
And our client are small CPA firms, and Jack, you could really relate to this, are small CPA firms that say, hey, we're at the stage in our evolution of who we are. We want to offer more to the market. We want to offer growth advisory services, be more engaged in different ways with our customers. We're not going to be experts in the content or the execution of every element. We'll bring in experts to do that, but we want to at least analyze the business, design a roadmap for our clients to grow and to improve operationally, and then bring in the experts, including peer group interactions, to be able to execute on those plans. And it's a full service to teach small CPA firms how to do this.
Oh, yeah. I think it's, I wish I'd had Charleston 5 years ago, because it opened up my eyes to how this can be done.
Well, and interestingly, Jack, sort of to your point, when they say, okay, I mean, we're all very confident that we can teach folks how to analyze a business using, how to analyze the business, how to convert that analysis into a growth strategy project, right? What are we going to do month by month? How are we going to deploy this? But then from that point on, there's a fork in the road, and I think one of those forks is to learn how to do it yourself, and the other fork is to say, you know what, I need Jack Heil, certified growth specialist. I need Bob Oliver, certified growth specialist. I need someone who really does this for a living, because this isn't my, this is getting me.
Show you, I've got my on my desk.
Outstanding, Jack. Outstanding, Jack. Jack, I hope you don't mind if I share. Is it okay to share your one comment, like your key comment on the review?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Jack's comment was "Booyah!" That's the emotion we want to generate.
Well, I came out of Charleston. I was just so raring to go. You know, Don and I headed to the beach for a couple of days, and I was just like nonstop. I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to get back. I was just the combination of what you and Larry presented and what the peers shared was so powerful to me. And you know, I feel like I have a better path right now. I'm still trying to dig deeper down into those 2 books you gave me and really formulate what is this process and how do I get my clients conversing with me about this instead of me taking a solution to them that they're not even aware of yet. And I think that that's, you know, that was a huge insight for me. So
that's a good topic to talk about in our peer group.
I like the way you think, Barry.
It just is. I mean, great. All the members are having the same. They have the same question, and it's a great way to interact and help each other out.
Well, what's interesting is so many people who are in Charleston are in the peer group, and I have a couple of others who have expressed interest in joining. I'm just trying to make that happen. But yeah, that's a good thought, Barry. Barry, you were sorely missed. Your name came up a few times,
Well,
and I know it was beyond your control. But
yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
So,
George, had a good conversation yesterday with Elliot that you had connected up in Toronto.
great.
And he probably would be a good candidate for the peer group because he's doing, Jack, what like the aha that you went through a couple of weeks ago. He's got primarily a financial planning service, and he's trying to figure out both exit planning and then CoreValue, how it fits into his practice. And we had a wonderful, about an hour and 15-minute conversation just talking about these various tools, how to approach the market. And I think he left that with some real interest in CoreValue as a marketing tool and an education tool leading towards financial planning, as opposed to being a growth drive consultant or coach, if you will. He said, I'm not sure I want to do that work with the client, but I want to be able to provide. And one of the insights, George, that I have applied immediately is this idea of taking that deep dive analysis from your discussion and actually as a standalone product, because it's got so much value to take a leadership team through and be able to set that strategy and key priorities for that group. And then if they want to engage you further, then that's a different discussion.
That is, I love to hear you say that. And this is one of the things selfishly that I get out of these conversations. Do you guys mind if I share my screen with you? Because Scott, something you just said, you've kind of anticipated I don't want to do it as a webinar, but a workshop, a conversation, a question and answer that I'd like to have with the community on what the heck is inside CoreValue. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. I'm just going to share this and we'll go over here. So you should be able to see a single slide that says CoreValue.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right. This is the way we see it, right? Most of us have CoreValue. We're like, okay, I use Discover. I move into the deep dive analysis, and then there's the executable growth plan. Fantastic. And that is true. However, when you're walking through a beautiful building and it's just nice and you walk through it, you think it's easy. You come to the front door, you go to the elevators and up you go. This is what the schematic of the building looks like. This is what's actually happening. This is everything that's happening behind the scenes. And I finally put this together based on, I think it was a comment that you made, Larry, or maybe it was John Foster. We need a checklist. Like, what the heck? There's so much in here. What's in here? I'm not going to walk you through this, but the bottom line is, how do we get to profit and value growth advisory? And how do we start up here and use the tool, all of the different ways in which, the wonderful ways in which you have, as a community, have developed using the tool. And you'll see, I'll put this on Tuesday, I think Tuesday of next week or Wednesday of next week. And in fact, if you guys look at your calendars, if you're interested, then we can plan it by consensus, because there's discover, there's so much here. There's the senior leadership alignment report. There's running a workshop based on that report. There's just a ton behind the scenes, and I'm happy to share this, but let's go through it together, and I'd love to hear your questions. And I think a recording of those questions and answers would be tremendously valuable as a blog post, as a YouTube. How do we help people get maximum value out of their investment in CoreValue? And overlaid over this is the growth drive methodology. So there's food for thought. And if anybody wants me to share this diagram with them, I'm happy to.
Yeah. Hey, Scott,
I'd like you to share that.
Bob, was that you?
Yes.
Sorry, I muted. Yeah, love to see that. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll share it.
Scott, you're so right that and that's why in the course we created a proposal separate for just the deep dive as a standalone. And I think, Bob, part of your question that you posed on Circle is, it also relates to our clients can only take so much at a time. And remember, in the proposals on the two flip charts, one of the teams had like $125,000 proposal. I mean, that was a kick-ass strategic planning process. But think about many of our clients, they're just not ready for that. We got to bring them one step along. And just the deep dive as a standalone with a good report. And I sent out the template this morning on what I use as a template is a way to bring them along that path and then open the door for that next step. And that next step could be, hey, I'm a CPA financial expert, just that path. It could be broadly around everything and bringing in the experts and doing something. It could be a strategic plan. You don't know until you're done with the deep dive. To assume ahead of time, you never know what you're going to discover through the process of the deep dive.
Yeah, Larry, the kind of a breakthrough that in that conversation with Elliot yesterday, we were kind of tackling his marketing right now in terms of what he's attracting, and he's attracting a lot of smaller, younger business, smaller businesses, younger business owners, and he had been thinking all along he was leading with exit planning, and he said, I'm getting to this group, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with them, and we started to talk about it, and the breakthrough for him was, wow, CoreValue is the perfect tool to help them realize they want to build something of value, not just a job or just something that provides great income for them. They really want to build that framework, and what a perfect tool this is. So his, he was spinning by the time we got off that conversation as he was thinking differently about it, which was great. Now he knows he can do, Gen X and boomers, more exit planning, and, he can help younger, more inexperienced, a lot of them are millennials, quite frankly, that are early in the business formation, and he's got a good path for both, and then a combination too with those that don't have enough value in their business.
Fascinating. I always, you guys are tired of hearing me say it, but the exit plan is the ultimate strategic plan, right? And if we can get people building a business, building a valuable business from day one, they will take that. But exit is the furthest thing from their mind, but they're going to build a business that has high value and that is easier to run than the competition, which means they're going to outcompete. I love that Elliot had that epiphany. Very cool. Thanks for guiding leading that conversation, Scott. I really appreciate it.
Can I throw something out? I'm sitting comfortably, quietly in my new Ford Mustang now. So I'm part of an organization called SCORE. I hope some of you are familiar with the SBA's organization. Primarily, the clients are under $1 million in sales, though I've had a couple that have been between 1 and 10 million over the 10 years I've been with them. But what about offering a workshop, at least on the Discover, and have people taking the Discover assessment while they're in this 1-hour webinar, where I explain
Oh, you froze.
Report afterwards. They may not be the ideal clients of a lot of people, but they may know ideal clients that would be interested in. And I'm thinking SCORE might want the report to be labeled SCORE, branded SCORE, rather than my company name. I'm not sure of that.
And Paul, that's not a problem. We will stand up. What we do is we stand up a program, and the program is under your agency. I can do this. We'll do this for anyone. Right? We stand up a program under your agency with whatever logo you need to have on there. I'm not, and we do that. That's included in your subscription. That would be very cool. Absolutely. I'm happy to help.
One of the benefits I see is that SCORE does a lot more advertising and reaching out. It has a much bigger list than any of us have. And if they were to offer it nationally as well, that'd be even.
Yeah, if anybody, SCORE would be fantastic. SCORE would be fantastic. And we can record it and we can put it out. We can promote it. I know you have a YouTube channel. You're very active. I'm happy to post it if you'd like, or repost on our YouTube channel. Be very cool.
You know, I'm giving a talk today. There's the Zoom presentation has 80 participants at this point. And I was going to bring up the, it's called, the title of the talk is Financial Blind Spots. And it's more of a behavioral finance type discussion with fellow advisors. But that was one of my aha moments in Charleston was throughout the discussions was, CoreValue looks like we started when we're trying to do exit planning, but in fact, undoing years and decades of conventional wisdom and mindsets that defeat what we're trying to do when you're trying to maximize the value. So, I think this hitting, startups with some dose of this that would sort of say, hey, it's not only about a tax deduction, it's about building a value in your business. And I'm trying to formulate how I could approach the local. We have a community college here with a small business program, and I was trying to figure out what would my course look like that I could present over 6 weeks to start up businesses. And so I'm looking at that. One of the themes was from Mark Parrott was find a sponsor. So I started looking, that sponsor and possibly Mass Mutual. I was thinking of reaching out to them and seeing how they were doing with their program here. And
is that a presentation that you're leading by yourself, Jack?
I'm the lead presenter, but I have another person that's going to share the conversation, but it's designed for what I said was, guys, we want to let the audience share in this, because anytime I bring up financial blind spots, people will say, give me 2 examples of blind spots. And as soon as I do that, then they just start ratting off all of them. And I was like, oh, this is going to be. And so I told the panel, be brief, because accountants can all of a sudden go into just insane storytelling that is useless. And I was saying, just get to the point about what the blind spot is, and then shut up and let the audience flow with ideas. And so we'll all benefit from that. So I'll let you know how it goes.
So are you going to record that, Jack?
I think it will be recorded.
Yeah,
I'll see if I can give you a copy of it. It's through the North Carolina Association of CPAs, and it's our group of CPA financial planners. So a year ago, I brought this up as a topic, and then a few months ago, they recruited me to lead the program. So I had to dig deep and say, what is a financial blind spot? And all of a sudden, as soon as I started looking, they were everywhere. So, but one of them.
Absolutely. If you record the Jack, I would kill to promote that through Growth Drive.
Okay, I'll let you know. It's through my association, so they'll dictate, release and what. But I'm sure.
Well, if not, we'll do it again, and I'll gather an audience. So we have over 1,000 subscribers in the Growth Drive. In the Growth Drive world, and this is not pure overlap with CoreValue. These are net new. Most of them are CFPs, who happen to be exit planners.
Well, you know,
And we've been doing
reports.
It doesn't matter. We have an audience there.
The processing and the reports, the questions, CoreValue is just chock full of potential blind spot conversations that can go on and on and on. And so it's really something that I want to kind of develop over this summer and get those that are meaningful too. But we had a coffee cache, you know, one of the very first ones, and it was a gentleman that was talking about changing the accounting year for purposes of impacting EBITDA.
That was Bob.
Oh yeah, Bob. And so it kind of, you know, that conversation opened my eyes to, oh my gosh, you know, this is a way in which to present that, because it's easy in conventional wisdom to just dive into the deduction of everything. But when you're doing that, it might quietly be diminishing the value of the business and what is the end goal here. But most people, when talking about planning, especially the CPAs I know, it's so anxious to be able to say, oh, we got you a deduction and saved you this. But what's on the other side of that? Oh, by taking that deduction, we cost you this. And so I think it's a valid starting point, up a big, big hill to accomplish, you know, to tackle. But I think it's certainly worth it.
And along those lines, I'd love
guys, what are your thoughts?
I'd still love to have the talk about not allowing or helping a company not grow too fast. And I wish I could find it. I saw a great article, a great system to help companies analyze that. I can't find it. I don't know if you guys have any tools for that, but love to do that.
Bob, we'll go to the reading list on Bob, if you go to the reading list on CoreValue, it is in there, and it is in your, I think it's not in the workbook. I will send you, and I'll email it to you. But
okay.
Yeah, there's a great article. It's from Harvard.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that.
How fast can your company afford?
Yeah, you're right. It was from Harvard, now that you mention it, but I don't know if you put me onto it or who did, but I think that's another great conversation. And I have a couple clients that I'm in that situation with right now. So,
you know, it'd be fun to do, guys. Larry, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, I think this would be a great topic.
I was going to say, what would be fun to do is to take that. Well, why don't we put on a growth drive, a workshop, a public webinar in growth drive, where we walk people through how to take that article and turn it into something actionable. Like, what is the formula? Because they don't just give you the formula. So what is the formula? And because that ties directly to predictable profits and cash flow, in which you have a predictable cash flow, and you can calculate how fast you can afford to grow, and you can save yourself. See all this gray hair, 30 years an entrepreneur. It is, that is the, for those of us, I mean, you guys know, right?
Well, and key to that, once you guys agree that part of it is they want to be able to self-sustain growth. And the minute they don't self-sustain growth, they start taking on debt to grow. And then they take too much debt on. And then because of working capital, wherever, and I've seen this, I've gotten a great example of it, that pretty soon they implode because they took too much debt on, and you know, their creditors are after them because they just grew too fast. But I'd love to work with you on that, George. I don't know if anyone else wants to, but I'd love to help put that webinar on.
That's a great webinar, Bob. I have to leave. I just want to add, this is really a part of where the 2 days we were together, we fell a little short in having enough time around execution and how do we take the deep dive information and other information of knowing a couple things around capacity, build, how to balance the sales and marketing with the operations, as well as are they really ready and have the management team to grow and sustain that. And so there's a lot there, Bob. That would be a great webinar to have for the community. I got to sign off.
I got Larry.
Scott's got to go too.
Okay. In fact, I'd love to chat with both of you gentlemen. I don't know if you have time this afternoon individually. I sent Scott a note. Larry.
Okay.
He's done.
Okay.
We'll talk. Thank you. Guys, and you know, we're at the top of the hour. I'm happy to stay on. This is a great conversation.
Rich, if you would you send that article out to all of us, or
Absolutely. You know what? I'll post it in Circle as I will send it. I'll push it out and I'll post it in Circle.
That would be great because I have a situation now where I'm sort of having a heated discussion with the CEO owner of this client I'm working with.
I can guess.
Hey, George. Yes. George, I got to go too pretty soon, but after 3 p.m. Central Time works for me today.
Okay.
And I'd like to have a separate conversation with you anyhow. So
great. Well, we will talk.
Okay.
We will talk. What a great conversation. Thank you guys all for coming on. I really appreciate it. These are fun. Honestly, no prep needed, and we always have a great conversation.
Yeah.
Everybody comfortable with me posting this on YouTube? Okay.
Fine with me.
Awesome. I will. I'm going to try to figure out on YouTube how to at each of us so that people can see. Know how to get hold of you if they want to connect with you directly.
Yeah. And Jack, I'd love to hear about what you're talking about too. So sounds like a great topic.
Yeah, I look forward to have a lot of fun with it today.
Yeah, I bet. So
standing.
Hey, okay. Yeah, one question, George, and for the group, would a Monday or Friday morning work better for the group? I know, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are just super busy days for me. Typically, I mean, most clients, rather meet on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm curious, could we move it to a Monday morning or a Friday morning? And same with our webinars, I think it'd be easier for people to attend, but that's my opinion. So I'm curious what the group thinks.
Our biggest webinar draw is Wednesdays at noon.
At noon, okay.
Yeah, Wednesdays at noon Eastern. That has been our best. That's why I always put them there, because those draw. We've tried a few different. We haven't tried on weekends, but now moving the Coffee Klatsch to Friday. My Monday is a bug show. It is I meet with a lot of strategic. I have a lot of outside facing meetings on Mondays, and they're standing meetings. But Fridays, I'm happy. I'm happy to do this on Fridays. You guys, let me. What show of hands? Who's happy to do it on a Friday morning at 9:30? Barry's gonna say no. Barry's like, I'm on the golf course.
I'm not ashamed to say that, George.
I want to be on the golf course right after the meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm happy to.
Well, whatever works for the group. I can make these work. It's just a lot easier.
Yeah, you haven't. I don't think you've missed one yet.
I think I missed last week was the first one. I'm always learning something, and it's always great conversation. So it's
very
I'm
cool.
like,
it's interesting. It feels like we've been, this conversation has been going for a lot more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So
well, hey, guys, I got to run, guys. Thanks. It was a pleasure.
Thanks, George.
This was great. Thank you very much. Thanks to each of you. And any questions, you know how to reach me. We'll talk soon. I'll see you next Tuesday or Friday.
George, do you want to send me an invite, or should I send you one?
I'll do it. 3 Central.
Okay.
I'll send you one.
Good. Thanks.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Paul, Jack.
Bye all.
Talk to you. Enjoy that new ride.